Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Eau de Treasure. I'm Steven. In this episode, I'm going to open up this package that I got in the mail. And in here, we have a very famous men's masculine fragrance from the 70s. This is Givenchy Gentleman, the original. I wanted to get a nice clean bottle to try it out so that I can get a somewhat of an accurate idea of what this originally was meant to smell like before all the reformulations that we have today. So let's check it out. This classic fragrance for men, Givenchy Gentleman 1974, the original in a vintage bottle. Now this is a small bottle. This is just a 25 ml bottle, but the reason I got a small one is because the bottle was clean and it was almost full. And I figure a clean bottle is a bottle that has been stored well and the elements haven't decayed what's inside and what's outside. And also it's almost full, so it hasn't had a lot of oxygen inside to affect the contents. This thing is quite shiny for an old bottle. Don't know how old it is, so let's check this thing out and see if we can date this one. Maybe you guys can help me. Okay. Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette. Actually, this is bigger than I thought. The listing said 25 ml, but this is a 50 ml. 1 2/3 fluid ounces. Paris. This does look vintage to me. What do you think, guys? Let's look this thing over. Usually the older ones, this silver is just messed up a little bit. It's faded or it's pitted or it's decayed on the edges. This one looks really clean. Like, look how reflective it is. Let's look at the back. 90% volume. It doesn't say 90 with a decimal point. It says 90%. So this makes me feel like this is from the early or mid 80s or just 80s in general. Don't you think this is an 80s bottle? Givenchy Paris. Let's see how full it is. Yeah, not bad. Maybe it's missing 2 or 3 ml at most. I guess full, it's like up to here, right? Not all the way up to the top. Oh, let's look at the, so this is not the 80s type sprayer. Maybe this bottle is from the early 90s. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Take a look at this spray cap here. There's no other clues that I can determine. There's nothing written on the bottom. There's no sticker. Don't you think there'd be some kind of a sticker here if it was in the 90s with that little yin-yang symbol? There's some kind of batch code printed on here. It looks like a 1-3... Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really read it that well. I see 130 something. We just have to go off the clues on the bottle. This is the Givenchy design that is on the original box for this. It's a black box with these white markings. I'll put a picture of it here. And this is not to be confused, guys, with the modern Givenchy Gentleman that came out in 2019. I'm really curious about that one because that one is a creation by Natalie Lorson and Oliver Cresp. This was a great deal, I thought. Another reason why I bought this is because it was $8. This was 1,500 Japanese yen or $8 for an almost full 50 ml. Let's give this one a try. I'll spray it here on my left hand because I actually do want to compare it to something on the other hand. All right, 2 nice sprays. And I'm going to compare it to this one that I have. This is my decant of Givenchy Gentleman. There is some vintage juice in here that I got years ago from a small bottle like this. I got rid of the bottle. I don't know where it is now, but I kept this much. Maybe there's 3 or 4 ml left in here, not quite 5 ml, but enough to spray it on and just to see. I mean, if they're both vintage, they should smell the same, right? But why not just compare them hand to hand? Oh, the sprayer's messed up a little bit. There we go. All right, I'll be back in a minute with my opinion on this classic. All right, I'm smelling them now, and I'm happy to say there's not that much of a difference between these two. They smell very similar. I'm so happy about that. Guys, this is really a beautiful fragrance in the genre of masculine men's fragrances from the earlier years, you know, the 70s, the 80s. This is the kind of fragrance that puts hair on your chest. Givenchy Gentleman was created in '74 by Paul Laguerre, and I'll read you off the notes. There are a lot of notes, but I'll read them off for you now. Top notes are honey, cinnamon, rose, tarragon, bergamot, and lemon. Middle notes, patchouli, cedar, orris root, and jasmine. And in the base notes, you have patchouli, leather, civet, oak moss, vetiver, musk, amber, and vanilla. What's so cool about trying a vintage formula fragrance is that you know that this is real civet. You know that there is the real oak moss that's in here, because those are fragrance notes that are now synthetic. Oak moss is one of those notes that gives it that masculine touch. And civet is something that adds a little bit of this animalic or pissy note to it, because it actually comes from an animal's butthole or bladder or something like that. It's a cat-like animal called a civet. And that's what these fragrances had back in the day. That's what masculinity was. And so this is like a relic in time that's preserved pretty well, as you can see. Really glad to grab this one. Now, would I wear this every day regularly? Probably not, just because it's just not my style to wear this every day. This is not a signature scent for me. This is something that I appreciate at home. I might wear it out once or twice, like on a weekend, something like that, just to try it out to see the longevity. A lot of times I just wear, because I have so many of these colognes, I wear them out just to test them. How well do they work? And then in the future, I know which ones last a long time, which ones I enjoy wearing. Even though this is a work of art and it's beautiful, it just, for this day and age, where I live here in Japan, where people don't give you compliments ever, and people take offense at a cologne that even smells nice, I'm not going to wear this one a lot. This is up there with some of the stuff I have, like Giorgio Beverly Hills for men. Actually, on Fragrantica, people say that this smells a lot like Giorgio for Men by Giorgio Beverly Hills, which is another classic fragrance from the 80s. Another classic one is Crisia Moods. And for a modern fragrance, Bond number 9, HOT Always. So I'm probably not going to wear this out all the time. It just doesn't really suit me as a person. I appreciate this. I love the scent. But when I wear things out, it's partly for me, but it's partly for making an impression to people. And I just don't want to give off those elderly man vibes when I go out. What else can I say? I don't know. Did you like the video, guys? Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you like discontinued, vintage, rare, and interesting fragrances, why not subscribe if you haven't already? I live in Japan and I find these gems. I find these treasures. So here's another one, $8 for a very clean, almost full 50 ml bottle. Very happy about that. What do you think of the video, guys? Leave me a comment down below. What do you think of this fragrance, the original Givenchy Gentleman 1974? Have you tried the newer versions of this? Are they different than the original? Let me know in the comments. I don't know much about this. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support, the subs, the likes, and the comments. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Let's make a thumbnail.